contact. And if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says, rules. I think you better quit, slip, or you're gonna leave it with a fat lip. It's all about the he says, she says, rules. I think you better quit talking that. It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the blood stain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better watch your back, cause I'm f***ing up your program. And if you're stuck up, you're just locked up. Next in line to get f***ed up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says, I think you better quit, slip, or you can leave it with a fat lip. It's all about the he says, she says, I think you better quit talking that. So come and get it. I feel like shit. My suggestion is to keep your distance, cause right now I'm dangerous. We've all felt like shit and been treated like all those motherfuckers. They wanna step up. I hope you know I pack a chainsaw in your ass raw. And if my day keeps going this way, I just might break something tonight. Pack a chainsaw in your ass raw. And if my day keeps going this way, I just might break something tonight. I pack a chainsaw in your ass raw. And if my day keeps going this way, I just might.
Welcome in to the Fan Run Radio Studios right here. Fan Run Drew back here spinning the vinyl on a rainy, but hey, we're here kind of Sunday morning. And Tennessee victorious yesterday. Welcome in. We're glad you make this a part of your Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. Maybe you're heading out for some, I don't know, church service, maybe some brunch. Maybe you're getting ready for another day. I mean, you've got the Super Bowl of auto racing today. Yep. I mean, you know, they're predicting rain there. Going to start the event a little earlier. We may give out a pick or two there, a couple sleepers there. Maybe put some money in your pocket. And I know we've got some big Olympic U.S. hockey going on this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
And so certainly it looks like it's a USA and a Canada matchup in the finals. You never know, though. But those definitely seem to be the two favorites there. Have you watched any of the Olympics? What? And I am coming to you, Drew. You know, if you've watched any, we'd love to hear from you. Maybe, are you a curling fan?
Not really particularly.
But do you try to get like in the kitchen to impress, you know, misses, you know, with like the broom and, you know, make it like, hey, I'm, you know.
It does make you like give you a little bit more competitiveness, I guess, you know, with the broom.
A little more motivation to do a little chores.
When you see the curling for sure.
Right.
I mean, you know, I've always, as far as Winter Olympics goes, like I've always liked, you know, the men's hockey. Men's hockey is great to watch. You know, always really competitive. You know, U.S. always does fairly well. I also kind of like honestly love the biathlon. You know, them doing the 10, 15 kilometers. I mean, the idea of like them doing the cross country skiing plus, you know, the shooting as well is just absolutely insane to me. You know, just to have to. You like the shape that you got to be in to do the cross. I mean, just to do the cross country skiing in general, you got to be in fantastic shape. But to do several miles while carrying a rifle and going uphill and downhill and everything, I mean, it's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
The luge, the bobsled, those are always electric to watch too.
I love watching the bobsled and the luge.
Oh, it's great. And you know, even the speed skating too, like, you know, is pretty fun to watch as well. The only one where I just do not really care for is, you know, unsurprisingly, probably the figure skating, more than anything else. Couldn't care about it. I mean, good athletes, you know, obviously way more athletic than I am. I'll give them that. But it is just, for me, it's just incredibly boring to watch.
Just mucho respect for what they can do.
Of course.
Yeah, I get it. It's kind of, I mean, you know, if it comes down to, you know, you hear others saying, hey, you know, I'm normally it's not going to be like on my, I got to remember that's on tonight. But I mean, if it comes down to the, chance to win the gold, and I'm all about it. What about? Do you think Jake Paul's fiance or whatever? Do you think she is like boosted ratings for the, maybe the male demo?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, she's definitely not, she's definitely easy on the eyes for sure. But, when you have that, the combination of her always being around Jake Paul and Jake Paul being the type of, personality that he is, you're obviously going to get new viewers and things like that, of course. And so I am sure that is probably why just NBC has just been eating it up with with their coverage, especially. But I think the U.S. just played in hockey and they just beat Denmark. I think earlier this morning, 6-3 is what I saw. So,
yeah,
so that should put them on the top of the group, which is good. And, I think it sets them up in a knockout stage match with either, I want to say Slovakia or Italy, one or the other. But
yeah,
should hopefully see them, playing a final with Canada. I just feel like that is probably the expectation always when it comes to men's hockey. So a final or bust for me, and especially considering that Russia's not in it, or hasn't been in the Winter Olympics for the last couple of years. So we'll see. But, I've always been more of a Summer Olympics guy, though, more than anything else.
Yeah, sure.
I submitted my registration actually the other day because, the Summer Olympics are going to be in LA in a couple of years. And so fingers crossed for that. Would love to get either men's basketball or tennis. I even saw that they have flag football coming in. So
hey now,
maybe we'll see Patrick Mahomes or some of the NFL guys trying to win a gold medal for us.
Yeah. That you might never know. You might bump into Travis's brother, and I know you've always wanted to get an autograph there.
Yeah.
Again, a big day in college hoops yesterday, and no bigger game than Texas Tech basically riding one of their horses, Obi Toppin, to a huge upset at Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that game was tight the whole way. It was back and forth. One team would take a 3 or 4 point. I mean, it was wow. Texas Tech. And I saw a stat on them where if they're a road underdog of like more than 5 or 6 points, not only had they covered like the last 7, they were like 6-1 straight up. So that is a team that, man, you got to remember that trend if, for entertainment purposes only, and, maybe put a little Valentine's Day money. You spend a little bit of your hard-earned money on your sweetheart, and you want to make a little bit of cash. We're going to give you some picks today. I'm going to throw out a few as far as and then even some futures. I've got some baseball, some MLB stuff. Baseball Vols get a sweep to start off the Josh Helander era, and looking promising. I mean, again, I don't opponent-wise, Nichols, I don't really think that's anything to go, oh wow, here's a team that was in the that made it to Omaha or hosted a regional or won a regional for that matter. But still, it's good to get off to a good start. Your thoughts on anything that you've seen, Fan Run Drew, from the new facility, the revamped Lindsey Nelson Stadium? It looks really nice. I like the advantage that we have even more now for the hovering over where the opposing pitchers go in and warm up. Man, the rowdies are going to get crazy and have a lot of fun over there.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think they've done a phenomenal job. I was talking to a buddy of mine about this on Friday. It's just so surreal just seeing the transformation that Lindsey Nelson had. I remember as a kid, back in the Todd Riley days, where all you had to do to get into the stadium was just like bring in like a can of soup or like a whatever, and they'd let you in for free. And so just seeing it transform from being really that one stand, behind home plate, and 3,000 or 4,000 seats to permanent seating now on the first and third base lines, another upper deck, suites, things like that. A brand new student section over there in the corner, as you mentioned, over there at the opposing bullpen. I mean, it's gone from the worst facility in the SEC by a substantial margin to, I mean, it's one of the top 5, top 10, best stadiums in college baseball right now. And, and the thing is like, I mean, they have plenty of other room as well where they can continue to expand and add more seats if needed.
Right.
And, I mean, this is something that, if Tennessee really wanted to, go that next level and maintain that success that Tony V brought in, this is something you got to do. And, you have to invest in those, in programs like baseball, because even though it's not a money-making sport, the deficit cost, the cut has cut down tremendously in the last several years, especially when you're good. I mean, it went from a sport of like, maybe bringing in about $1 million a year, less than that, to where, I mean, they only lost, I believe it was $60,000. I mean, they nearly broke even last year. And, when you double the capacity, adding 8,000 seats and all this stuff and so forth, I mean, there's a high possibility that Tennessee baseball could break even or even, bring in a profit, which is be unbelievable. And so, I mean, the program's in a great spot. They had a really good win against Nicholls State. A lot of good young players. I mean, obviously Henry Ford, Blaine Brown, as well, a lot of young and upcoming talent. But, I mean, Tennessee is not short of any options as far as the bats go. And, that's kind of one of the things that I feel like Tennessee kind of struggled with last year, so the consistency with the bats. But it doesn't look like that's going to, hopefully be an issue this season. I know next week they got UNC Asheville during the week, and then a weekend series against Kent State, and then they'll follow up on the last weekend of February, going to Arlington, Texas, playing in that, that little college challenge against UCLA, Arizona State, Virginia Tech. So that'll be a good test for them to really see kind of like where they are. But yeah, I mean, it's just exciting. It's exciting to see, just a program where it's continues to stay up and coming. I think they're going to do well. And they'll definitely be more entertaining to watch than our basketball team for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so speaking of our basketball Vols, we talked on here a couple of weeks ago. You can tell that. Forgive me. I'm guessing it was the Kentucky game where we missed all the little bunnies at the rim and Estrella and then poor, Carey. And look, I love that these guys have taken the criticism and used it as fuel. You're seeing Carey stay after, Boswell staying after, shooting free throws, shooting, literally moving off curls, shooting jump shots. I love that. And Estrella has really stepped it up. So, when you look at it again, the hang on 73-63, really in control most of the second half. It was like a 5 or 6 point game at halftime. Then, the second half, they're down the stretch. They kind of controlled it. It became more of a 3 possession game where, okay, just don't do something stupid here, like quick turnover, give up a 3, and you basically got this in, basically secured. But again, Nate Ament, 22 points. I believe he had quite a few rebounds as well.
9 rebounds.
Yeah, 9 rebounds, 2 offensive. Again, Gillespie, 2 turnovers in 35 minutes, but 6 assists. I feel like for the most part, as long as other guys you don't have a 3 or 4 turnovers here from a Mint or 3 or 4 from this guy, you'll take that on most nights. But I like the fact that Estrella has really turned the corner. This looks like a different team with him. You just kind of see he's kind of got his swagger back a little bit. You see he's an NIL, affiliate with the Weigel's stores here. I've seen the videos of him, and he's kind of got a little bit. I mean, he's got the swagger back, and I like that. I think too he was really, struggling with some injuries early on. You got to have him healthy, but again, Drew, you're talking 16 points, 9 rebounds, only 1 turnover. But 6, count them, 6 offensive rebounds. Man, those extra possessions are huge You can't go into a game and expect, oh man, I need my guy to get 6 offensive boards. When you're getting that and you're getting those, I mean, if you look at it, Tennessee had 11 offensive rebounds, which I'd love to know how much of that translated into did they, capitalize off of.
Yeah.
I don't have all that data. I'm not a data geek like some, but that is, to me, that's huge. And again, when you can get Gillespie at 12, Estrella at 16, your horse in Ament at 22, but again, turnovers wise, your starting 5 only had 4 turnovers. That's pretty stout.
Yeah.
It is LSU. It's not, but still, I mean, they're struggling in the SEC play, but they're, 14 and 11. This wasn't like it was an out of conference, small conference level matchup. Tennessee, I guess now 18 and 7, 8 and 4 in the SEC. We talked about it here early on when they were struggling a little bit. I think we both said, I feel like this team will finish above 500 in conference play. We didn't know. I'm not going to lie. I don't know that my confidence level was thinking, we're going to finish 4 or 5 games potentially over 500. I thought it might be 2 or 3 games over 500, but they look like a different team now for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good to see JP finally playing with a little bit of confidence. I mean, because he started off the season really well those first 4 or 5 games before, getting an injury. And I mean, he was in a funk for several weeks, and then he finally started getting back, back at that level when we had that road win against Alabama. But he's kind of the key difference maker for us because, I mean, to be completely honest with you, it's just like, you look at the other bigs that, how much they were able to contribute. Like Akpara only had 3. Dwayne Brown, again, a true freshman, so you can't expect too much.
11 minutes,
3 points. Jalen Carey, like 7 points. Like, okay, but like, Jalen Carey is extremely limited when it comes as far as shooting the basketball. And
hey, I'll take 7 and 5 in 13 minutes from him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it for sure. It's just the thing is like you just can't expect that consistently.
And Berg with 8.
Berg was a little bit surprising yesterday, to be honest with you. I mean, him hitting a couple threes, couple rebounds, shooting 3 for 4 from the field, and he needed a night like that. But again, it's like when I look on the bench, only 18 points from the bench. And Berg had 8 of those 18 points, and let's be real, if it wasn't for Berg getting those points early on, we won by 10. I mean, that there's a possibility we could have very easily lost that game. Boswell only had 2. Yeah. And I mean, it's just, I understand, like, you got to play Akpara defensively, but man, he is such a liability on the court on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
7 boards, you'll take that. Yeah. You'll take him as a, block a shot or 2. But yeah, I don't really. And let me ask you about this, because it just seems like I'm noticing Amari Evans's minutes decline. And I'm just trying to see he only had 7 minutes yesterday. So that's definitely some of his minutes are being taken away there.
I mean, he really
struggled in that Kentucky game. The turnovers, not taking care of the ball, just careless. Rebound, a guard slaps it out of his hands.
I mean, you're talking about 5 games ago.
That'll be a barn. That'll put you in his doghouse for sure.
I mean, 5 games ago against Auburn, he had 24 minutes, and it started dwindling down. 17 minutes, 14 minutes against Kentucky, 12 against Mississippi State, and 7 against. And the thing is like you gotta take care of the basketball in this type of system under Barnes, and you gotta play well defensively. He makes some exceptions with like Gillespie, for example, where, to be honest with you, like, he brings too much offensively for us for to really limit his minutes, but. Again, man, it's just like, I mean, we won by 10 points. You really shouldn't complain about a double-digit victory. But, like, the one thing that I found really concerning about last night was just as soon as LSU switched over to a 2-3 defense over there at the start of the second half in the first 5 or 10 minutes, I mean, we struggled offensively.
We did.
And
yes, we did.
This should not be an issue in mid-February. I mean, it's one thing if it's December or the start of the conference play in January, but you're talking about 4 weeks from now, we'll be will be playing in the SEC tournament, Selection Sunday, getting ready for the NCAA tournament. And these are games where like you should really be winning by 15, 20 plus.
Yeah.
Especially considering that LSU is, not even an NIT team, much less an NCAA tournament team. So I'm a little bit concerned going in. You got Oklahoma during the week next week, which we should be able to take care of business in that one. But that's where it starts.
Are they bringing their well, they're not going to bring their popcorn machine. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Oh my god.
They're I'm thankfully nobody was really hurt.
Yeah, right.
But man, that
concession
that
catch on
could
fire.
that could have been a disaster quickly if they did not get that taken care of. So
yeah.
I've never seen that before in my life. A
No, I
popcorn
haven't
machine
either.
getting caught
I
on
have
fire.
smelled popcorn that okay, that might be a little overdone there, but even Sodexo hasn't screwed that up over here.
Yeah.
So, but a sign to me when a young player and you see him and the like really truly coming on for him, the game getting slower for him. Let's talk about that for just a second, because I've noticed that with Nate Ament. If the shot isn't falling, and yesterday wasn't a one of his better shooting days, but what are we noticing with young guys that if their shot's not there, if they're not feeling it, man, they're aggressive, they're taking the ball strong to the rack, they're going up strong, and he can shoot free throws. I'd love the fact that he is. I'd love to know how many over the last 8 to 10 games. I bet he's averaging at least 7 to 8 free throws.
Yeah.
There's been one game he got 14 free throw tries and hit 12 of them. I think yesterday he shot 10 or 11. So that is a telltale sign. That's truly a sign that this guy is understanding it. Early in the year, he might have kind of just, body language. He might not have, the game would have been a little too quick for him.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that he had it in him and the potential, but now you're starting to see it. Let the game kind of come to you. If your shot's not falling, man, you a couple easy makes or a free throw, a couple, boom, or an and one, it gets your mindset, it resets you. All of a sudden, man, you feel like a different player, just mentality.
He's certainly had the game slow down to him, and he's desperately needed it, too. And I think the thing is, it's just a lot of people had, and I don't want to say an unrealistic expectation, but they kind of just thought he was going to be like Kevin Durant, where it's just immediately just start dropping 25 points a game.
Totally different game.
Exactly. And the game has slowed down for him. And I think the key difference maker is he played against some physical teams, played against Illinois, and I think him and Barnes probably had to talk and realize, you know what? Man, you're 6'10", you're over 200 pounds. You need to use your body to your advantage and be aggressive, because you have the only, the athleticism and the length to be able to, get those tough baskets up at the rim. And and just the body language, and his confidence is a night and day difference compared to December. You're talking about the last 2 or 3 games where it's crunch time. We're only up by 3 or 5 points. He's literally telling Jacoby, he's like, "Get me the ball. I want the ball." And you didn't see that 3 months ago.
No,
absolutely. So, I'm glad that he has been able to find that in his game. He's gained more confidence, and if Tennessee's going to make a run in the tournament, which I think is very unlikely, but if they were to make a run in the tournament, he is the X factor. He will have to be able to turn it up, and you never know. You average 20 points a game, anything can happen.
I think I'll agree with you on the X factor. I believe the really, really, when you get to that level, especially after that first round, and you get into that weekend where teams are, the scouting reports are they're so intense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think teams will recognize what are his tendencies. Does he come get the ball off of curls at the elbow or at the 3-point line? Will he bring the ball up and they just let him facilitate and spread the floor out? I think it's still going to come down to you don't expect Boswell to be like a prolific scorer, but the Gillespies, the Boswells, someone each round you play in after that first round matchup, I feel like you're going to have a couple of guys at least two guys, one guy like a Boswell at 8 points or more, and you're going to have Gillespie or Estrella with 16. You got to have that balance, or they're not going to go far. Because I think, even if he attacks the rim and gets free throw attempts and makes those, it's still, I think scouting is so different when you get to that level. It's really, hearing Coach Al Brown talk about it for years, he says it's almost like watching, you get your hopes up with a young, talented player in preseason in the NFL, and it's like, yeah, but that defense that they're not throwing anything at them in preseason. It's so vanilla.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think Boswell. That's a great point with Boswell, and you don't need Boswell to average 15 or 20 points a game. I mean, you'd be here for it, of course, but he has to have the same type of production that that Meshack had, where it's like, all right, Meshack's not going to give you 25 a night, but you know what he's going to give you? He's going to give you 8 or 10 solid points, and he's going to give you a handful of rebounds.
Yep.
And he is going to be elite defensively. And, and that's the crazy thing, man. I remember a buddy of mine telling me at the end of last season, he's like, I think Meshack is going to be more of a guy that is lost and who's going to have a better NBA career than anybody on the roster. And I was like, that's absolutely insane, because you think of like Chaz dropping, averaging like 18, 20 points a game, Zakai. But man, I mean, I got to be honest with you. I think if Meshack was on this team this year, you're talking about this team is probably second place in the conference, and they're probably top 15. Like he was just, just having somebody that's just that ruthless on the defensive side of the ball and is just good enough, playing smart basketball offensively as well. And we're kind of missing that. Like Boswell just doesn't play with that same type of confidence, in my opinion. And he's become a liability somehow with his face on the defensive side of the ball too. I mean, the man has found a way every single game to get hit in the face and get a foul call towards him as well. And so, I don't want to be like such a Debbie Downer with this basketball team, Cloney, but it just feels like that team that when we had Jaden Springer and Keon Johnson, where we're probably going to be a 5 seed, a 6 seed in the tournament. We're going to catch a 11, 12 seed that's like red hot, that's won 6 or 7 straight games, and we're probably going to bounce in the first round. Hope I'm wrong though, but that's just what it feels like.
First round.
I think so.
Maybe. I think if we're healthy and we have this collection of guys, none of these guys are missing, I feel like this is I think we win the first game. Then anything's on the table.
Yeah.
Like you said, when you get into that level, listen, there's some mid-major teams this year that are fantastic. I would not, and will we see this team kind of rear its ugly head? Will they get back to that, not really closing games out? Do they get, ball reversal defense? Do they just get, flat-footed and not they're not winning the boards, the 50-50 balls, opportunities? That's my concern, is that we've seen it time and time again this year, and Barnes call them out on it. I'm just hopeful that the team has recognized this. They're tired of hearing it from coach, and we're seeing that team, the lights come on. There's still, like I said, there's a lot of basketball left. Your thoughts, though, I will say, on how many years do you give Stephen Effin Pearl at Auburn?
At the rate that they're going right now, they're 14-11.
What was in the contract there is what I'd like to know.
He's it's probably like, if I had to guess, he's probably making like around maybe $2, maybe $3, maybe about $2.5 million. They probably gave him like a 3 or 4 year contract, but I'm gonna be honest. You knew there was gonna be a drop off, but man, it's just like they're just not even competitive. You lose by 13 to Arkansas. They were never in that game.
No,
you fell short against Alabama, but you lost to Vanderbilt as well. They're probably going to make the UNIT this year, but if they don't make the tournament next year, with the amount of money that they have invested in basketball now, you got to think if he doesn't make the tournament next season, that his seat is going to be red hot or they're going to fire him. They might give him 3 years just because of the fact that it's Bruce's son. You know, if it was like any other assistant, though, I think he'd probably get 2 years max.
Yeah. Let's see. I was just looking at the bracketology, the bracket watch. Maybe you can pull up Jerry Palm's. This was as of Friday. Hopefully everyone's Friday the 13th. There was anything catastrophic or any wild events, and everyone had a fantastic Valentine's Day weekend. A lot of businesses were thriving this weekend. I can tell you that. Being out in it Friday day, Friday night, Saturday. I'm telling you, I was out by the mall yesterday, and I could not believe it was like the weekend before Christmas. I was blown away how busy it was.
It was insane yesterday. So I took the girlfriend to, like a Valentine's Day dinner and a movie and everything.
Nice.
And our original plan was going over to K-Pot over in Turkey Creek.
Oh yeah, yeah,
really good place. Love it.
Yep.
Really delicious.
I've heard a lot of people. I haven't been yet, but I've heard a lot of people
really
like it.
So I was like, our movie's at 7:10, 7:30. We should let's aim to get at the K-Pot restaurant at 4:30. So that way, if there's an hour wait, we'll have, be able to eat for an hour and a half, be all good. We get there at 4:30, and the guy, the front of the house is like, it is a 4.5 hour to 5 hour wait.
Oh my goodness!
I was like,
wow.
We'll just go to Smoky Mountain Brewery. So.
Yeah. Hey, not yeah. Go. At least you got the games and everything.
Hey, I got to watch first half, so I won't complain there.
Just don't drink the Mountain. I'm sorry.
You don't like the Mountain Light?
Well, coming out of their tap, I'll drink it out of the bottle.
Yeah.
But I am telling you, I have literally told. I've went as far up to the man that signs the paychecks. I've told many there, and I don't think it's been the same since the brewmaster, Marty Zellis or whatever, whatever that. But that Mountain Light is it's hit or miss.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, I know a lot of beer drinkers, and they're like, "What is going on with that?" But anyways, I'm not going to dog on that. They have some really nice food options.
Cherokee Red Ale is still delicious.
It is. I will say that one's really good. And when you can get into some of the seasonals as the weather gets cooler, the fall, and you get some of those like the Hefeweiss or the Oktoberfest stuff like that. The Marzen, those are right in my wheelhouse. I love those paired with food. Now, if I'm just sipping them, I'd rather have a lighter beer.
Of course.
But anyways, still a great place. And love the beer cheese over the broccoli, steamed broccoli, and get me one of the Philly cheesesteaks. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
According to Joe Lunardi, this was as of Friday night. Obviously, Arizona did not get bumped out of the 1 seed, losing to a team like Texas Tech. But he had them, when you go down through there, let's just jump to Tennessee. He had Tennessee, this was as of Friday night, Tennessee, the 6th seed, playing in Philadelphia. Our boy Basilio, maybe he'll take a Barnes Patrol bus up and take a bunch of fanatics up to Philadelphia. But he has them playing as the 6th seed, Tennessee playing the 11th seed Miami of Ohio.
We will lose that game.
We will lose. I literally just got through telling you, no, they won't lose in the first round. I'm like, I do not want to see a Miami of Ohio in the first round. Get the heck out of that 6th seed. You've got to make a push. And I hate to even, the old 5 versus 12. To me, you got to get to the 4. You've got to get to the 4.
You got to get to at least to a 4. But if we're going to be completely real, this Tennessee team is going to win 20 plus games. But if you want to get to that 4 seed, your last 6 games, because I'm not going to count Oklahoma because Oklahoma's a win. But our last 6 games is Vanderbilt in Nashville, at Missouri, Alabama at home.
Wait. I thought we already played Vanderbilt in Nashville.
No.
So we played them here. Okay.
We played Bama in Tuscaloosa. We haven't played
Okay.
Vanderbilt yet this year.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's right.
So our last 6 games of the season are Oklahoma, which I think is a win.
Yep.
At Vanderbilt, I think we might lose that game. Missouri, who is a bubble team right now, and they're 17-8 at Missouri.
They're going to play. I mean, they're going to bring it.
Alabama at home, South Carolina on the road, and then you end the season with Vanderbilt in Knoxville.
Okay, so minimum 4-2, but I'd like to see a 5-1 here.
I think you got to be at least 5-1. And the reason why I say that is because
unless you run it all the way to the SEC, if you get to the championship game, then
they'll flirt with a low 4, maybe the highest 5 seed.
Okay, so to piggyback off of that, let me give you an example of the difference of what we were just talking about, of being a 6 seed versus a 4 seed. 6 seed, according to his projections, again, tough matchup. Miami of Ohio. I mean, yeah, Tennessee fans are going to travel, but it's not like that's, traveling to Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
How much are they going to travel? Miami of Ohio, that's just a tough matchup. Then if you look down in, look at this right here. Without the stud freshman who broke his wrist for North Carolina, yeah, they're playing as a 6 seed in Greenville, but they're playing Santa Clara. Santa Clara showed you last night playing Gonzaga off their feet.
They're solid.
Here's another one. A team I have said all year is inflated. I think they're overrated. I know there's NBA talent on the roster, but BYU playing as a 6 seed, playing against either Southern Cal or Texas. Okay, yeah, maybe that's not, again, but then if you go and look at the 6 seed over in the West, where Arizona is going to be the top dog, you got Clemson as the 6, playing a San Diego State team. That is nothing easy. Clemson's pretty good. They're very good defensive efficiently, but San Diego State's is no pushover.
Yeah.
Let's look at the difference, though. Those are all scenarios projected by Lenardi's bracketology as of Friday. But look, that was as 6 seeds. If you look at the 4 seeds, he has a Gonzaga as a 4 seed playing Portland State. Much better matchup. I'd rather play Portland State any day over Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Bama in the Midwest, playing out in Portland. Well, I wonder if it's not Portland, Maine. That'd be Portland, Oregon. I'm sure. Yeah. Midwest. Okay. So you got Bama, the 4, playing California Baptist. Give me the 4 seed. Then you go down to the East. Vanderbilt as a 4 seed, playing UNC Wilmington. The last 4 seed, he has. Well, I don't see the 4 in this one. I must over. Oh, Texas Tech, the 4 seed, playing Hawaii, the 13. Give me. This team needs to elevate and move into that 4. A 3 would be even better, but you get the 4. That is, and really and truly, the 5 seed's is not really any better than that 6. I say it's not. St. John's 5 seed playing Belmont. These are just hypotheticals. Virginia 5 seed playing Liberty. Liberty's no pushover. Virginia's pretty good. That's a different team than what we were seeing. Different tempo, different style than what Virginia was accustomed to. Their fans were seeing for years there. 5 seed in the out in Portland. Louisville playing South Florida. These are way better matchups.
Yeah.
Arkansas 5 seed playing SF Austin. So to Drew's point, this 6 seed is man, you're playing with fire there. I don't want anything to do with the 6 seed. This team needs to go 5-1, and they need to win minimum a couple of games and be competitive. Show some show some desire, play with some passion down in the SEC tournament. Don't burn your legs up. Don't feel like, hey, what is the most? Let's say they just hypothetically, if we go 5-1 and you get to the finals. Now, if you win the SEC tournament and let's say you beat an Alabama or you beat a Florida. I mean, if you beat a Florida or say, an Alabama with their rank and their quality of wins, then all of a sudden, man, you're talking about what is the ceiling? Where could this Tennessee team wound up? A 2? I don't know that they could go as far as a 2, but they darn sure would be a 3.
I mean, they would probably, if they make it to the final in the SEC tournament and you win, you go 5-1 or 6-0.
And it's who you'd beat to get there.
Oh, that's the thing. It's just like if you go 6-0, win these last 6 games, you end the season on an 8-game regular season, an 8-game winning streak, and that would mean that you have 2 top 25 wins over Vanderbilt and potentially a top 25 win over Alabama. And you would assume you would have to have another top 25 in the tournament to make the final. I think you'd be a 3 seed, but just realistically speaking, I think like most likely they're going to need to go 5-1. I think even if they win one game in the conference tournament, it would probably seal them on getting into as a 4 seed. But you just really, really want a situation here where you want to get at least a 5 as the bare minimum.
Right.
I mean, I know people are afraid of the 5-12, but to be honest with you, the 6-11 is a little bit more scary. And at least, you don't want to be in a situation like what Joe Lunardi's like bracket has, where our second round game is against Michigan State.
Yeah, I don't think ETSU this year has as much.
No. Potentially a Texas Tech even as a 3 seed, because I think they'll probably wind up being a 3 seed at the end as well. So, I mean, like you really want to finish the season strong. You want to be able to play your best basketball. You always don't necessarily want to win the conference tournament because you've seen time and time again of like teams winning their conference tournament and flaming out, come the NCAA tournament. But, you want to at least give yourself at least one win in that conference tournament to continue to build on your resume and give the committee a good argument as to why you should be a 5 or a 4 seed. And if Tennessee's a 5 or 4 seed, I think they'll be all right. But man, it's just, you just want to avoid at all costs on playing a Miami, Ohio, or I'll be honest with you, even like a St. Mary's or even potentially a Missouri, on one of those teams making the last 4 and playing them as 11 seed. It's just, So.
Yeah, and right now, speaking of Missouri, that is one of Lunardi's last 4 in. He has Texas, 2 teams from the SEC, Texas, Southern Cal, San Diego State, Missouri. First 4 out, TCU. TCU's they're from a betting standpoint, when I've wagered with them this year, they have been money ATS as a road underdog.
Yeah.
But man, when they're at home, they're just, they had a big win this week, obviously, but Virginia Tech, TCU, Ohio State, New Mexico, a team like Ohio State, they're going to want to get them in big conference, then the other 4, so technically the 5 through 8 ranking of teams on the outside trying to get into the bubble, inside the bubble is California, Oklahoma State, VCU, and Seton Hall. So right now, I was looking at his number of teams by conference, which it's a little, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but Joe seems to know a little more than I do about it. Anything else that stands out from you? I guess we are way overdue for our first break, so let's do that. Then we'll come back. We'll finish up this conversation. We'll talk anything you would like to talk. You can reach us by 865-966-3435. You are listening to the Neutral Zone, again, presented by Fleet Tire. They're at 111 East Woodland Avenue. Hopefully, you've already made that drive over to East Woodland and gotten those new tires for these. We're still in the winter months, man. A lot of rain. This is going to be rainy season. Hopefully, spring, though, is upon us. It's really close. It's felt good the last few days, but definitely those great tires from Fleet Tire would come in handy on a day like today. But we will return to more Neutral Zone right after these messages. You're listening to Fan Run Radio.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3, and The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. We're excited to continue our free stump grinding promotion with Fan Run Radio this year through March 31st. If you've got problem trees in your yard, give us a call and we'll come out and cut them down and grind the stumps for free when you mention you heard us right here on Fan Run Radio. Take it from Russ. We'll treat you right at ECR Total Landscapes.
That's right, Evan. I had the ECR team out to Stately Smith Manor last year, and they took down a bunch of trees for me and grinded the stumps for free. Now I don't have to worry about those trees falling on my house, and my yard looks much better. Do what I did. Call ECR Total Landscapes.
Thanks, Russ. Call us today and we'll come out and give you a free estimate. Our number is 865-384-2012 and our website is ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Are you tired of waiting on interest rates to drop before you start saving money? I'm Chris Burleson with University Lending Group, and I've got a better way. With a traditional closed-end mortgage, most of your payment goes straight to interest, not your balance. But with my Smart Loan, every deposit you make cuts your principal immediately and reduces interest in real time. On average, my clients pay off their mortgage in just 7 years. Call me today at 865-388-7634 or visit smartloantn.com and let's turn your income into financial freedom. NMLS number 332-941.
Welcome back to Neutral Zone on Daytona Sunday. Welcome back in to Fan Run Radio. We're glad you made this a part of your Sunday morning. And we touched on it there. You have the big race today. It kicks off. Unlike any other sport, they do their Super Bowl at the start of the season, and
it's always so weird. I love NASCAR, and I've always watched NASCAR, but it is always bizarre to me how they always start off the year with just as you said, the biggest race of the season, the Super Bowl of all races, of sports, of motor racing. And I mean, it's always a great race. It's always entertaining, but it's just like you watch it and you're just like, all right, like that's it. I guess I just will slowly pay attention for the next 6 months.
And like the last 10, 15 laps, there'll be
always crashes,
3 major, pileups, wrecks.
It's gotten worse each year. I swear, it's just gotten more and more ridiculous.
Yeah, it has. Interesting though, the Chevys have a little different body style look, so that'll be interesting. Will it be a Chase Elliott? Will it be William Byron going for the back to back?
I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah, he's starting in the back though. I don't know. And you can move up, obviously. But the duels, the first one, the Toyotas looked really good, and then but a lot of people believe that the I guess Larson. I mean the Chevys are going to have something to say. I guess the Childress Racing. But we'll see. I'm going to tune in and watch a little bit of it. Like I said, it'll be a long, probably have a rain delay or two, and but yeah, I'll get into it and watch it. I'm certainly going to watch that over this NBA All-Star garbage. That dunk contest. I'm telling you, Drew.
I didn't see it, but I heard it was bad. I heard it was really bad.
I did. I will say, and I'll show you the ticket, just so I'm not blowing smoke. But I sent it. Like my son's a huge Miami Heat fan, and I sent it to him, and I said, hey, I kind of like this Johnson kid, the rookie, Kishad, I guess is his name. But I did a ticket with him, and I included it with Arkansas, the Arkansas over, but I had Kishad Johnson, the exacta, to beat Carter Bryant in the finals. That exacta just on that was plus 950. And I was like, man, I've seen some of his highlights. He clearly looks like a guy that can get up. He's electric. What sort of creativity does he have?
Yeah.
Luckily he pulled it out and turned a $8 wager into $241.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I was like, man, not bad. But anyways, it's just one of those things. It's not it's just not, to me, the NBA and I have a mad respect for their athleticism, their length. I don't think people realize truly, just how big of freaks these guys are. But why in the hell are we allowing? I watched a clip the other day, and it was not AI. I watched a clip, and it was like LeBron it was crazy how many times he changed his planted pivot foot 2 different times.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I watched one, I have never seen a guy travel more than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I understand the whole collection, or whatever they call it, a step where you can collect the ball. Okay, that's fine, because with all the different rules and angles and nuances that they've allowed, that they require the receivers to catch, to complete an actual, what is considered, is it a completed, was it a football move? Was the ball moving when he got the first leg down, tapped the first toe? I understand all that, and there's all these geeks that sit in these boardrooms and these offices of league officials, and they come up with some of this stuff. But why in the hell are we allowing guys that are literally that can already take, not even a dribble, they can just, one step from the 3-point line and dunk it. But we're allowing them to head fake, change pivot foot, collect, go one tap, poop, 2 steps, and then pivot off it to another pivot foot. I watched Shai Gilgeous-Alexander do that so many times. I'm just like, why? What are we doing? Well, it is such garbage. It is such a awful product that you're allowing that.
I mean,
are you that hard that you've got to have? You're trying to fabricate and make stars. He's a great player. He's got so many tools. He can defend. He can, he clearly can. He knows how to initiate, draw contact, and get to the free throw line. That I don't have as much of a problem. It's these allowing these guys and the whole Euro step. Okay, but when it's a guy, takes a dribble and it's like, okay, the dribble happens right in rhythm with then the first foot, 1, 2, then he's taking another and they're calling it like, hey, it's a collection, whatever they call it, like a recovery step to where he's getting control of the ball. I don't necessarily agree with that when the ball is just switching hands. It's not like the ball got knocked out of his hands.
Yeah.
It's complete garbage what they've allowed this to become.
I feel like the product in general has definitely fallen off in the last 20 years. I think the thing is, for me, is just I just think the season is too long, right? I mean, they play 82 games. I think if they had cut the season down to like 50 games, right, I think it would be a far more competitive product. I think it'd be more entertaining. The games themselves in the regular season would hold much more value as they do right now because, the season's so long to the point where these guys can just decide, like, after playing 2 straight games, like, you know what, like, I'm going to take an off night. Like, I don't really want to play back-to-back, and you can't stop them. You can't say no. They're your franchise players or whatever. And you see LeBron do it all the time. And, it was always like really annoying as a kid, especially growing up in Atlanta, where it was like whenever like the Heat or the Cavs or even the Lakers would come into town and, every single time it like LeBron
load management.
LeBron would always sit out. Kobe would always sit out. And it's just like, like that deters a fan, like for sure. But I just feel like the season is way too long. That's why I think like the college basketball season length, that being 30 regular season games and plus the NCAA tournament and the conference tournament, is like perfect because you got some games where you can put in some fillers, but every single game matters, you know, and there's not really any off nights where like you can just be able to put in your B team in there for that game. But like NBA's got like these like in season tournaments that are just completely pointless to try to get viewership, even though they don't really add any value to the product themselves. The All-Star game is just a complete joke from what it used to be. And the same for the dunk contest. The dunk contest hasn't been good since like the 2000s.
No,
it's
brutal.
been well over 15 years since it's been worth watching. But
like, is it crazy for me that I would much rather watch the 3-point contest? You're talking about a player in Damian Lillard that, the Achilles injury or whatever. He hadn't played a minute all year, but he wins the event partly because ex-Kentucky Wildcat Devin Booker decided to kind of like just gag the last rack and a half, which you know what, I'm all for it. But yeah, I would much rather watch that. I'll be honest with you, I would much rather watch all the skills stuff with the NHL All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
I would absolutely. Sure. I don't care anything about the NFL, Pro Bowl or any of the, unless it's, Sean Taylor taking out the late Sean Taylor taking out the kicker or the punter.
Yeah.
The punter.
Yeah, they stopped that. They stopped that after that moment.
Yeah. Anyways, we got to get our top of the hour break. And we will come back. Second hour Neutral Zone right here, presented by Fleet Tire, 111 East Woodland Avenue. That's Fleet Tire. Come on back. for more on Fan Run Radio.
Surfside is made with vodka, real tea, and real juice, and has only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no bubbles, no troubles. That's why Surfside was named the 2025 Spirit Brand of the Year by MarketWatch. Their variety packs come with options: iced tea, lemonade, or green tea. Find your flavor by trying them all. Surfside, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older to enjoy. Party smart.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the Vols or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you'd miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issue. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info, so all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD, to save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Yeah, I was mentioning the baseball, Major League Baseball is, obviously college baseball Vols 3-0 sweep to start off the season. MLB, you've already got pitchers and catchers reporting. Man, I mean, I'd like to take a trip down to the Grapefruit League, although my Cubs are going to be out west, the Cactus League, but I would love to head down to sunny Florida. And man, I tell you, I was looking at weather there yesterday, like down in South Beach, and it was like 84. And man,
yeah,
I'm ready.
I went to one of the spring training games a couple of years ago for the Phillies. I'm not really a Phillies fan, but like a kid that I played baseball with growing up and basketball with, Brandon Marsh, who's outfielder for the Phillies. We went to go see him play against the Blue Jays in one of those spring training games, and they play right next to where the Yankees play over there in Tampa.
Nice.
It's pretty cool, man. You get to see a lot of these guys that that are in the starting lineup, and you see them play those first 3 or 4 innings. So seeing them play real up close, in those smaller ballparks it's a pretty cool thing to see for sure. And it's relatively affordable too. The ticket prices are really not that bad at all. So spring training's great. Excited about the Braves coming up here. Unfortunately, it looks like they're already plagued with the injury bug. I saw Schellenbach.
Yeah.
He's out for 60 days. One of the South Korean players that we signed who was at shortstop, he's out until, I want to say, May or June as well. So just very typical Brave start to spring training. So, but we'll see. They can't be any worse than they were last year. I can tell you that. So
yeah, you gotta want, hopefully you're hopeful that you're getting the Cy Young version, the healthy, Spencer Strider back. I mean, that's we'll know a lot with velocity. I never pay attention to what pitchers are doing in the spring. Like, oh, he got roughed up. Well, you know what? He threw maybe 4 or 5 pitches right in that 92 to 96, which is where he needed to be. That's what that's what the pitching coaches, that's what the people, the analytics guys look at. If he's working on secondary pitches and third and fourth type pitches, and he gets hit around, so be it. They're just trying to fine tune some things at this point. But yeah, you're sitting here and you're thinking, okay, well, with a move like that, you're, as a Braves fan, you're kind of like, all right, well, maybe I wish we would have made a move for Zach Gallen or somebody like that. He re-ups with, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of hoping he would be a Cub, but I feel like the Cubs still need another pitcher. We have one in the farm system that eventually at some point, barring an injury, Jackson Wiggins, he has got front of the rotation stuff. It's a matter of putting it together. Do you bring a lot of times they bring these young guys up though, and they bring them up to be pieces in the bullpen to just kind of bring them along a little bit. Yeah. And then they stretch them out a little bit, and it's like, oh, hey, you know what? We might go to a 6-man rotation, or a guy gets hurt. We're going to give him 3 or 4 starts while that guy's on the, a 3-week, 2-week DL, whatever. But the positive thing is, and for my fantasy team as well, I own him in a dynasty league, but Ronald Acuna Matata is the ball just popping off of his bat. He looks ready to bounce back in a big way. What say you, Fan Run Drew, on that?
No, he's finally healthy. This is, I think, the first where he's been able to finally, have a full off season of being healthy. I know he came off an injury last year, but, just wasn't really 100% the entire year. And you could just see based on the production, just how he was playing as well. But seeing him have that confidence again, which I haven't seen since 2022 probably, and so seeing him that fired up, excited, you can't help but be excited for him. And the Braves have a pretty good the outfield room is pretty solid with him. You hope Michael Harris has a bounce back from a rather disappointing year. Jurickson Profar, well, he had a sports hernia surgery back in November, but he should be 100%.
Yeah, nice pickup.
he was solid. And, the Braves also, and I'm going to butcher his name, but Mike Yastrzemski from Kansas City, they picked him up over in the offseason. A little bit of a veteran, but, this is a guy last year where, he had 17 homers, 46 RBIs, 73% on plate, on OPS. And so a guy that can be able to provide depth and, and be able to be a good, a good player off the bench. But when you look at the Braves lineup with them having Ozzy Albies, signing Ha-Seong Kim over at shortstop, they did just sign Jorge Mateo as well. The lineup looks solid. I think the big question is just can you get that production from the bullpen this year? They did sign what was it? I believe it was Suarez on a 3-year, $45 million deal for a closer, which is pretty good. The Braves desperately need some of that relief pitching. You got Spencer Strider, who should be back 100%. He had a huge struggle. Last
typical
season.
Coming off that procedure.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is so typical,
and it is. And I think he'll get a little bit better. But Chris Sale had a phenomenal season last year. Can you hope at 36 that he can be able to continue to build off of that? Schellenbach's obviously going to be out for the foreseeable future. He might be out for the entire season, but this is a good opportunity for guys like AJ Smith-Shawver, who, is 23 years old, had a little bit, played a little bit last year. Will they move him into that starting rotation and give him more of an opportunity? And so the talent's there. I don't know if I would say necessarily that they will be the favorites to win the division, because even despite the fact that the Phillies lost Castellanos to San Diego, you still got Bryce Harper. You still have a really, really strong, bullpen as well. And the Mets have, plenty of talent on their side. It's just, can they ever really figure it out? And that's the other question in itself as well. Yeah. But I think the Braves should be in that contention for a playoff spot, though. Realistically, they should be no worse than a wild card team, in my opinion. And if they make it back to the playoffs, I think more power to them. But
yeah, I think they're going to be right there. Listen, I think that those 3 teams alone right there are going to be, one's going to win the division, obviously. Speaking the Mets have made some big moves as well. When you look at like you said, with the Phillies, the big thing with them is, Aaron Nola is no longer that, 3 years ago, he was kind of the ace alongside Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
You got to get Wheeler healthy. If he's right, Christopher Sanchez is a blossoming, maybe not an ace, but he's a pretty damn good number 2. Jesus Luzardo, they got in the trade early last year. He's been pretty solid. Taijuan Walker is your number 5. Look, Aaron Nola still is a 4. That's a solid 4, a guy who can, doesn't give up a lot of barrel, hard hit stuff. But again, I look at, you look at what they've done as far as, yes, you lose Castellanos. Again, he's kind of one of those up, down. He has really bad slumps. He's all or nothing as far as, you already had a little bit of that with Kyle Schwarber, who's going to strike out a ton, but he's going to hit 50 home runs.
Oh, yeah.
And, Harper is the clutch guy. Alec Baum is a guy. Bryson Stott is a guy expects they might utility move him around a little bit more. So yeah, I do like that. Anything else that you see there? Obviously, to me the Mets, a guy who I think has potential as a breakout. Nolan McLean is a young prospect. He pitched some last year, but a lot of people are already saying, look, he'll be at the front of that rotation and ahead of guys like Sean Manaea and Kodai Senga. Clay Holmes is there, the former Yankee. So we'll see. But they're, again, their lineup, they're solid at catcher with Alvarez. You lose the polar bear. He goes to Baltimore, the ex-Florida Gator. But, now you slide in there, Mark Vientos, Polanco, Marcus Simeon. I mean, these are huge bats. Brett Beatty, Francisco Lindor. You could make the argument that he's one of those guys that, I mean, clearly he's typically in the top 7 to 10 for MVP voting. Even his days back with the Indians, he's just that kind of player. So, obviously Soto, what you're getting there with him. Jorge Polanco is another solid bat. Now they did lose, his name escapes me right now, but they lost another. He was a solid bat for them, and he went to the American League. I can't think of his name right now, but just kind of looking at it all the way around. It's still the Dodgers world with all these contracts and everything. Do you realize, literally there's no value. The only value in taking a futures on them is to take them to the World Series, to win the whole thing. That you can get for plus money, but it's not a lot. If you're wanting to try to take them in the division market,
that's probably like minus 1,000.
It's minus 900. That's what it was yesterday. It's insane. Or minus 800 or whatever it is. Now I do have some kind of futures that I do like, and I've got some like home run props. I think a guy who could, if you wanted to go out on it's not really a limb, it's not that far of a reach, but I think a guy that for home runs maybe leading the American League in home runs, first baseman for the Athletics, Nick Kurtz. He hit over 40 last year. He's, third year in the league. He's ability to put solid contact on the ball. So it'll be interesting to see. I guess it's next year? It's another year away before they actually move into the Vegas stadium. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
They got another season.
Yeah. And everybody, everything I've heard is that, the ball will travel there. So maybe we're a year away and maybe I'm a year away. Can you do a futures on 2027 season? But I think he's going to hit 50 this year and I wouldn't put it past him. I definitely want to look at the markets on the options for him to lead the league, the American League. Now, again, you've got guys like, obviously Ohtani's going to be up there. Though I think with him being more, with the pitching and things like that, I'm going to tell you this. I am so glad he's off of my Cubs roster because he was more and more I'm hearing with Kyle Tucker that he was just like, not really running out ground balls. I know he had some shoulder issues last year. He couldn't elevate the ball, but there's a guy who is going to now, you're going to slot him in, more than likely, wedged in between Ohtani, Mookie Betts. He's going to hit third between Mookie Betts and another Hall of Famer, your boy, the first baseman there.
Freddie Freeman.
That is a huge, you want to talk about RBI opportunities and being able to stack up some stats. I think he has a career year, not just because he's in LA. It's with all the people around him. He's got a little more to prove here. I would watch out for him. I think he could have a huge year, Kyle Tucker.
Yeah. I could definitely see. I think Kyle Tucker probably,
when you got guys around you and you're wedged in between two Hall of Famers like that, that is literally like, all right, ducks on the pond. You're going to see pitches. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you saw the news of. I guess this is not so shocking, but for the Rockies, former Cub Chris Bryant. Wow. Back on the 60-day IL with back problems.
Yeah, bless his heart, man. He's just injury prone. It's crazy.
He's played, I think, collectively less than 100 games in the last 3 seasons for Colorado. And, I think that just defines the Rockies in a nutshell for you. But I do have a little bit of an update, a little bit of a breaking news for Tennessee football. We did lose our defensive backs coach over last week. What was it, Michael Hunter?
Yep.
Over to the Rams, kind of out of nowhere. Well, Josh Heupel just made a hire this morning.
Okay.
Hired former Virginia Tech assistant coach Derek Jones as the new cornerbacks coach. Under Heupel and DC Jim Knowles. Jones worked with Knowles at Duke in a previous stop, worked in various capacities with the D-backs, and spent 10 seasons as an assistant special teams coordinator from 2008 to 2017.
Okay.
Has a history of helping special teams. He was also the DBs coach for Virginia Tech the last 4 years and was also co-defensive game coordinator for Texas Tech back in 2020, 2021. Personally, I don't really think this is quite surprising. You kind of figured this time of the year where it is like mid-February, you got your new guys coming in. This is not really the time to be able to do a proper coaching search and to get the best guy, but maybe somebody that you already have familiarity with, that that might be able to do a decent enough job to be able to fill the gap and get some type of production. I'm not necessarily thrilled about this hire because I kind of thought the secondary at Virginia Tech was quite honestly pretty bad the last 3 or 4 years. And I mean, it's just bad in general as far as football goes. But it's a hire that kind of makes sense. And maybe, after a year, maybe 2 years, he could be able to, up the production with the DBs. Tennessee's desperately needed the last couple of years, in my opinion. For Willie Martinez to be a great recruiter, he was very, very mediocre as far as development goes. So we'll see what happens. I mean, give him a chance, see what he can do. But if this is somebody that kind of Jim Knowles wants and has had familiarity with, you got to have some type of confidence that this is going to be the right guy. But I'm kind of glad they were able to get this situated because you did see a couple DBs for 2027 decommit, and with the news of Michael Hunter leaving. And so this will be good for recruiting purposes for the upcoming recruiting class as well.
Yeah, that's good. Also on the UT front, we kind of talked about it just jokingly, but with the Joey Aguilar trial stuff, and a real head scratcher that the attorney comes in front of the judge. It's like he's clueless, unprepared, with no data, nothing. Like what is the monetary value? The market. What do you have to present to me for your client? And he walks in like, am I being too harsh here? Too critical? I mean, that I've heard several people that watched it in the entirety of it, and they're like, wow, like. What? How do you do that? You're representing a big time quarterback. You're supposedly a UT a huge UT guy, and I don't understand that at all.
That was rather surprising because you had to think just using common sense, like that was going to be a talking point during that trial. It's like, all right, what's his value? How much money would he be losing theoretically if we didn't give him an injunction and, grant him eligibility, than as opposed of like him being ruled ineligible and him having to go to the NFL. And I mean, that should just be information that you already have in preparation. So that was like very, very surprising. But, in fairness though, this judge was pretty interesting. I mean, he was pretty harsh on both sides, on both the NCAA and Joey's argument as well. It wasn't like a smooth breeze, kind of like how we saw with Trinidad's the other day, where like after 15 minutes, the judge was like, "Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just give him an injunction." Like he kind of tailored the NCAA for their incompetence as to why it's taken so long to make a decision, and obviously into Joey's defense team rip them a new one for just not even having anything prepared for it, but. I think if you take in, I personally believe that he's probably going to wind up getting the injunction sometime next week. I mean, obviously, he probably won't get it tomorrow because with it being a federal holiday. But I could see some time anywhere between Tuesday and Thursday where they'll get a decision. And you just kind of hope that the NCAA doesn't really fight it and they just kind of go with the same route that they did with Diego last year, which is just accept it. But it seems like the NCAA this time around is giving more of a fight. But like the big argument is that, they made the reasoning as to why Diego last year was granted eligibility because they don't deem junior college to be, worth 4 years of eligibility. If that is the case, then Joey absolutely has another year in. And you can make the same argument for Trinidad because of the fact that like he had a medical red shirt. He didn't play a full 2 seasons of football.
That's different.
I just think that there's not enough like set in stone guidelines and rules that the NCAA has at the moment where they could win this argument and win this court of not granting both Trinidad and Joey eligibility. And I think that was the big thing for Trinidad being able to get his eligibility already because it gives more of a confidence booster that Joey's more or less going to get the same verdict as well.
Yeah, we will see. I was just, wow, I couldn't believe that. And then, when several people had told me that, and I was like, yeah, it was just really odd. I don't know. Hopefully, you're right. Hopefully it will, things will work out for Joey. Things will work out for the Vols. We'll see. Yeah. We shall see. Who do you have today? I know we're about to get our halftime break here in the second hour. Who do you like today? Is there anyone that you like in the Daytona 500? I've seen Gruden already. He got a photo op with the King. So Richard Petty.
It's amazing.
So
he's still alive.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's happening down there on A1A today in Daytona Beach. So again, hopefully a really good race. Hopefully it's as clean as possible there towards the end of the race. Competitive. It certainly will be, and so many guys. Every little point matters to some of these kind of on the bubble, these type of guys. And, with manufacturers and the amount of money, it's huge for some of these guys. The heavyweights are going to be there. They're going to,
Yeah, I think you obviously should expect like the Hendrick cars do really well. Chevrolet always tends to do a pretty solid job as far, especially in these super speedways. William Byron's won the last two. Kyle Larson's, has ran decent over there as well. I think he's a heads-on favorite of winning it at plus 400, 500, somewhere along there. I kind of look for more of like the long shots on that. You could obviously do the safe bet on putting William Byron, but he's at plus 600 or 700. But there's three guys that I kind of, have my eyes on. I always make a bet towards Bubba Wallace because Bubba Wallace has always been a great super speedway driver. Mm-hmm. He's always done really well at Daytona and Talladega. Getting a win at Talladega, I think he's had multiple top 5 finishes over, in the 500, was a runner-up a couple of times too. But the one guy for long shot odds, and I consider long shot odds to be plus 1,200 or more, Kyle Busch I think is a name to look after.
Plus 1,400 on FanDuel.
Yeah, plus 1,400. He has 5 career runner-up results at Daytona International Speedway, including the 2019 Daytona 500. Obviously one of the best modern driver, one of the best drivers of the modern era of the last 25 years, 63 career Cup victories, including one at the night race at Daytona. Given his experience at the track, and he has 9 top 5 finishes in 41 starts at Daytona International Speedway. He's got 20-1 odds.
This is Busch?
Yeah, Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
I think if there's going to be a time for him to be able to finally get over the hump, it has to be this year for him. And so another guy that I would probably consider, another guy, Joe Gibbs. Christopher Bell's at plus 2,200.
Very good speed, super speedway race.
He had a strong run last year, finishing 5th in the first stage before a crash near the front pack on the 196th lap that ended his run. This came after back-to-back years of finishing 3rd at the Daytona 500, as Bell's been one of the top drivers at the 500 over the last few years, including leading 42 laps over those last 3 races. This is where Joe Gibbs always has fantastic cars, too, in these super speedways. He's a proven winner as well. And given how he's raced the last 3 years in the season opener, 22-1 odds for him. He's at plus 2,200. I mean, if there's going to be one where you want to throw $10 and you can make, make a good chunk of change, those are the two guys for me. I know some people are saying about Chase Briscoe, but Chase Briscoe, granted, he's had 2 top 5 finishes over the last, over his 5 career runs at the 500. He's just the type of guy where he's extremely hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little bit more risky of a driver as far as expecting to be able to win it, because he seems to have like the unfortunate luck of just being in the middle of the pack and, and being in the middle of the big one more often than not. But I would say personally, if you're going to go for the long shots.
How about an Austin Dillon at plus 5,000?
I could see Austin Dillon's tough.
Or top 3 plus 2,200.
I think top 3 might be a better shot.
Top 5's plus 750.
Yeah. I would probably throw maybe $3 or $4 on.
Do you go back to the well with a Michael McDowell who's won there?
I think it's really difficult for drivers to win this race multiple times. That's why seeing someone like William Byron is like, it's very abnormal. It's not, not very normal seeing a guy to be able to win it back-to-back times, much less winning it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Dillon's won it. I think Austin Dillon, he's won in 2018. And he might have won another one. I'm not too sure.
Another one that and I'm going to probably put him on one ticket, just a small flyer, is Austin Cindric. At plus 15, plus 1,500. He's done real well there this week. Just hearing, again, you got to be a little lucky, because there's going to be a few storms, and you're like, oh God, you want your driver to survive that huge pileup, that wreck, and boom, all of a sudden 6, 8, 10, sometimes double-digit cars are out of the race, and or affected and are in the pits for 3 or 4 laps, and they're essentially out of it. They're just out there trying to earn points. And so how I mentioned earlier about Kyle Busch, at
plus 1,400. Well, DraftKings just updated their odds. He has went from 1,400 to 1,000. And he is the second odds-on favorite of winning the Daytona 500 today.
Yeah, he's right there with what, Logano?
With Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney's the only guy that's under 1,000. He's at plus 900.
Oh wow. Okay, so FanDuel has Logano at plus 1,000, Blaney at plus 1,200, Kyle Busch still at plus 1,400, Chase Elliott plus 1,400. Yeah. He always does well there. Again, there's a lot of angles, and you're right. I've seen several guys that really like Chase Briscoe this week.
Yeah.
But again, like you, he's kind of one of those guys. Does he do something kind of bonehead move or cause an accident, or does he get caught up in it? Again, sometimes you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But those guys like Kyle Busch, you just fast forward, and at the end of the race, 95% of the time, he's right there. And you're hearing him and his crew chief, talking about, hey, who's he on the radio with? Who are they working with here? Does he have, he's got good tires here. When are they going to pit? They're going to work together to draft up. They're in that top 7 or 8. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into it too.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. We'll talk more about it. If you want to jump in, we'd love to hear your pick or anything else on your mind. 865-966-3435. You are listening to the Neutral Zone presented by Fleet Tire, 111 East Woodland Avenue. Come on back for more right here on Fan Run Radio.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Citizens National Bank.
Life is more fun with a Good Life checking account from Citizens National Bank, offering extra benefits including bank travel. This September, experience the perfect fall getaway on the New England Rails and Sails Tour, or join CNB in October to chase the Northern Lights in Iceland. Get in on the fun by calling 865-429-7935.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. We're excited to continue our free stump grinding promotion with Fan Run Radio this year through March 31st. If you've got problem trees in your yard, give us a call and we'll come out and cut them down and grind the stumps for free when you mention you heard us right here on Fan Run Radio. Take it from Russ. We'll treat you right at ECR Total Landscapes.
That's right, Evan. I had the ECR team out to Stately Smith Manor last year, and they took down a bunch of trees for me and grinded the stumps for free. Now I don't have to worry about those trees falling on my house, and my yard looks much better. Do what I did. Call ECR Total Landscapes.
Thanks, Russ. Call us today and we'll come out and give you a free estimate. Our number is 865-384-2012. And our website is ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you'd miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issue. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info, so all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD, to save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Welcome back to Neutral Zone. Presented by Fleet Tire, Neutral Zone here on Fan Run Radio. We appreciate you making us a part of your Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Good afternoon. Tennessee Vols, again, we talked about basketball this week, matchups. What are our two matchups this week? Fan Run, Drew. We have, 6 regular season games left.
Yeah.
Run through those again if you don't mind.
Yeah. So next week we'll have Oklahoma during the week, and then follow up with going to Memorial Gym in Nashville to take on Vanderbilt at a Saturday afternoon game. And then you have during the week, next week on the 24th and the 28th, you have at Missouri, Alabama at home. And then you end the season in March on the 3rd at South Carolina in Columbia, and then Vanderbilt in Knoxville. So,
wow.
I wouldn't say. It's not as easy of a draw as the last handful of games that we've had, but again, kind of like what we mentioned earlier in the first hour, this is a run where it's crunch time, and you got to go 5-1 in this run. You got to convincingly beat Oklahoma. You got to get another good road win, in my opinion, and Vanderbilt would absolutely be that. And even Missouri would be a solid road win too, a team that is fighting to be one of those last 4 teams to make it in the NCAA tournament. And these are games where, especially Oklahoma and South Carolina, you just need to take care of business early on and put them away early, and just play clean basketball, and play, continue to play on the offensive side of the ball with confidence as well. And if you're able to get a good home win against, both against Alabama and Vanderbilt as well, you're talking about that puts Tennessee at, you go 5-1 that stretch, that's 23-8 to end the regular season, and you add another win over there in the conference tournament, you go 24-9. I think you have a very good argument with the resume that we have that you could be able to be a 5 seed or even potentially, the last 4 seed of the tournament as well. Because you're talking about that would mean that we would have at least one win over Vanderbilt, another win over Alabama, a neutral site win over, Houston as well. And so this is, it's make or break for them. So,
Yeah, I just saw a funny little clip. NASCAR's X Twitter account, Beast Mode. Marshawn Lynch is on looks like some kind of little go-kart 4-wheeler, and he's got a big beer cooler, and he's tossing out beers.
Oh gosh,
the beers are on Beast Mode, and these people are going crazy.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I'll take a beer from the Beast Mode. Yeah.
Man.
So, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just NASCAR is just hilarious. It's just they've just fully just embraced their redneck fan base so much the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
You see other, sports professional leagues are trying to branch out a little bit, and it just seems like NASCAR over the last several years is just this is what we are. Just embrace it and just double down on the redneckery.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is what it is. Yeah. And John Daly is, this was yesterday. He was at the Hooters across the street from Daytona.
Of course.
Let's see what he's drinking here. Good boy. A good boy. Oh, that's one of his vodka based beers. So, yeah, so he was doing a signing, a little autograph deal there. Got the Sharpie out, sporting the Rolex, and the he's living it up, buddy, right down there on A1A. One thing that you mentioned though about Kyle Busch, 0-20 all time. Now you're talking, obviously earlier you were talking about Kurt winning the Daytona, but Kyle Busch, 0-20 all time in Daytona 500, and he captures the pole.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about this. Do you like to play kind of a, maybe it's kind of a, I don't know how to angle to approach it, but with Jimmy Johnson, it being his last, he's going to retire after the year, and this is his last time at Daytona for the 500. Now, maybe he runs the July 4th, or not the July 4th, the one in the summer. July 4th's the Coca-Cola in Charlotte.
Yeah.
But do you take an angle there, maybe a top 5 finish there? I imagine the odds are pretty
I think he's
sweet.
I think he's at plus 3,000. I feel like even to finish top 5. I know he was close to plus 7,000 to win. If he was still driving a Hendrick car and everything, I would maybe consider it. But there is a massive, massive drop as far as just money and just technology and everything like that when it comes from like those top, like RCR, Joe Gibbs. I mean, not even RCR, but like really like Joe Gibbs and Hendrick and all of those compared to, the team that Jimmy Johnson has.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a miracle, I feel like, if he finished top 5. I feel like Cody Ware, of all people, probably have a better odds than him because I think
plus 6,000.
Yeah,
wow.
How
about a top 5 plus 11? I still don't like that.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, you never know. I mean, like, again, this could very easily be a race where, they race halfway through and the rain comes in earlier than they expect and they just freeze the field and just call it a day. I mean, we've seen that before, but he would have to have some unbelievable luck to finish top 5. But I wouldn't mind AJ Allmendinger. I think that is another like wild card that you could be able to put some money on as far as finishing.
Can we
top
get
5.
Titans Bill on line 1 and have him? I just want to hear him pronounce that name. It's kind of like Mike Heimerdinger for the Titans. AJ Allmendinger. It's like a beer league softball, travel ball.
I know.
Name. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love me some beer league softball. So
I'd probably go. I mean, if you're going to throw, if you're not willing to take the risk of just winning outright, $5 on Allmendinger finishing in the top 5, I think is a pretty decent. Decent chance to take. Yeah, because they updated the odds to. I think Kyle Larson is like only plus 400 or 500 to finish top 5, and But another thing that I read up on, when you were mentioning about Kyle Busch winning the pole, the last time a pole winner has won the Daytona 500 was it was even back when Dale Earnhardt was racing. It was 2000 when Dale Jarrett won the Daytona 500. He was the last driver to start the pole and finish first place. And so it's been 26 years since that's happened. So, you never know. But again, it's just, you saw how Kyle Busch ran in the duels earlier in the week. Car looks really, really strong. I mean, the same goes for, Chase Elliott too. Can Chase Elliott finally get over the hump and be able to win one too? That's kind of like the one thing that he hasn't won yet in his very short career.
How about another guy that's been so close numerous times? He's got, if I'm not mistaken, he's finished second twice, and he's finished in the top 5 4 times. And in very recent fashion, 2017 and 20 were the 2 runner-ups. Ryan Blaney, 17 career wins. He was the, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he win the Cup championship a couple years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I don't have it in front of me, but I did see. I saw somebody posted on X with him where he's been so close, like 0 for 11 in Daytona 500. But when you've got 5 times in this race that you finished in the top 5, including 2 runner-ups, that tells me you know what you're doing. You're staying right there in it. You've not gotten that bounce go your way. Maybe it is his year, but I'm looking at him right now for top 3, and it's plus 360.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good value right there. Back to your boy, Kyle Busch, top 3 plus 340. Top 5 plus 175. I wish they would allow you to do multiples, like
a same game, like a same race.
Yeah, like say Kyle Busch plus 175 top 5 Ryan Blaney. It won't let you combine them.
Yeah,
but I do like I like both of those angles, and I'm with you. I mean, maybe Busch doesn't win it, but he's gonna be there, and barring just getting caught up in a one of these crazy accidents. But then you got the defending champion Kyle Larson. Almost 29-30 wins, but he's 0 for 12 in Daytona. Best finish is 7th.
You know, I mean,
twice.
The thing is about this race, you know, and I love the super speedway races. Like, I mean, it's very entertaining. I love seeing these cars go. You know, as my dad would say, close to 200 mile an hour. But you know, the thing is,
boogity.
Yeah, that was another one you would say too. But you know, it doesn't really take a lot of talent to actually win a Daytona 500, right? Like it's not like winning in Bristol or Martinsville or you know,
right
like,
place, right time,
right place. And ironically, like your best chance of like winning this race is typically kind of like, you know, if you start off in the back in the first 150 laps and then you build yourself towards in those last 50 or so.
Yeah, I saw where this year's Grand Marshal is none other than comedian and Vanderbilt football superfan Nate Bargatze, joined by honorary pace car driver Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell,
yeah,
heard that name in forever.
Yeah, I mean, how great is it? We got Wyatt Earp in the, you know, with a comedian. So, although I will say, Kurt Russell, I look, dude was like one of my, you know, loved him in just about every role he's been in. And he came back a little bit, resurfaced with the Super Bowl and the commercials and, you know, wrong brand. He's a spokesperson for, but, you know, still it was cool seeing him. But yeah, I mean, again, I think those are, you know, again, you're going to expect a lot of wrecks there when it gets to the very end, but I don't know as far as when you're looking at all these guys. And again, to me, I don't like to invest my money in overall the outright winner. Sure, those are fun for a little, you know, just a long shot. But to me, because it's so unpredictable, like you said, right place, right time, your guy can boom, one wreck. Now the great ones, you know, the late great Dale Earnhardt Sr. I mean, those guys, the Bill Elliott's of the world. I mean, the Davey Allison, those guys were always, you know, they're always there at the end. So let's go to the phones though. Maybe we got a pick here. Maybe we got someone wants to throw in their pick on the Daytona 500 or whatever else is on their mind. Welcome into the show.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm not too big of a NASCAR guy myself. That's, you know,
no worries.
A little bit past my lifetime. But no, I just wanted to call in and talk to y'all about this quarterback's hire. I mean, I'm kind of really intrigued, and I want to get y'all's opinions, especially Drew. I mean, it feels like we did a complete 180 here, going from an inexperienced guy, Michael Hunter, who was an assistant at Ohio State.
Yeah.
But now you're getting Derek Jones, who has 26 years of coaching experience and, you know, being there at Virginia Tech under James Franklin and his new staff, and now making this move. I kind of like it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a safe hire, right? I mean, this is a guy that's had familiarity working in Jim Knowles' system. You know, I mean, they coached alongside for, close to about 10 years over at Duke as well. But, you know, I mean, this is one of those situations where, I mean, you know, Vol Scoops, I mean, you know, you're pretty much in the know when it comes to the recruiting. You know, we lost a couple DBs like in the 2027 class, you know, which is not surprising given this time of year. But, I mean, this is like one of those situations where you want to get a guy in as soon as possible. And this just kind of seemed like a low-risk type of hire where, I mean, he's had years of experience working on that side of the ball, you know, familiarity with the staff, with the defensive staff especially. And, you know, might not be as intriguing of a prospect of a coach as kind of like as Michael Hunter was, but this is somebody that has coached and that, you know, has that coaching experience before, which could, I mean, obviously could potentially be a very valuable asset for us.
Yeah, and I mean, we let Willie Martinez walk. You know, we kind of went in a different direction there. We didn't know that Michael Hunter was going to be a short-term 1 month, you know, signing going to the Rams. But you get a guy kind of like Martinez that has this experience. You know, Derek Jones been at Virginia Tech the last 3 years, but you look at his experience as a player when he was at the college, going at Ole Miss there in '96, that class, and I mean, you know, when you look at, you know, your cornerback room, I feel like you've had a Jermon McCoy, you've had a Ricky Gibson, who's now A&M, you've had Colton Hood. You know, Jones, coach standouts like Mansour Delane, who was a first-round draft prospect who went to LSU this past season, but spent a lot of time there at Virginia Tech, and as well as others like 2025 draft pick Dorian Strong. So I feel like you have that veteran mindset, but you also have a guy that's putting guys into the league and getting them good quality experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what helps tremendously is, Tennessee did a pretty good job as far as you'd probably agree with this as well, as far as like in the transfer portal, being able to get some key guys in there to fill up those gaps and be able to add some depth. I feel like the guys like, Farouk are going to be able to take a next step next year, and obviously Ty Redmond as well. But, adding guys like TJ Metcalf too will help alongside. I think you should expect an upgrade, as far as production on the field when it comes to the secondary, not just because of just Jim Knowles, but just the talent that we were bringing in as well. And so there should be room for excitement. I feel like, for this fan base to have with this hire. It's not a super flashy hire by any means. I know he had a little bit of a rough spell over there at Virginia Tech, but let's be real, who didn't have a rough spell at Virginia Tech over the last 4 years? And so, but you have to have confidence that this is a guy that Jim Knowles wants. Jim Knowles has had success everywhere he's been. He's coached at the highest of high levels. Has developed a lot of great guys in the NFL as well. So if this is somebody that he wanted into his staff, you got to think that he knows what he's doing, what he sees in Derek Jones. So,
yeah, and James Franklin obviously keeping him on staff. I think he's the defensive recruiting coordinator there, so recruiting experience, cornerbacks coach there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's going to take a little bit of time. They say that year 1 to year 2 is the biggest jump under Jim Knowles, but we're not asking him to be elite. We're asking him just to be better than last year, and I don't think that's going to be very hard to do.
They literally just need to be better than the 80th best defense in the country. They could this team could literally be 50th, right? They could finish 50th. And if we're 30 spots better than we were last year, you're talking about there is a chance if Joey Aguilar comes back, of course, that this could be a 10-win team. We don't need them to be a top 5 defense. I would love a top 5 defense, don't get me wrong, but we don't need this defense to be the complete backbone that it was in 2024. Just be able to get off the field every now and then on third down, and not allow 35 points and 450 plus yards of total offense. And I think Tennessee will be in a good position. So there's definitely room for excitement, and it's just this, Brando, it is not possible for this defense to be any worse than it was last year.
For sure. I know y'all are up against it with Tom, so I just wanted to say y'all a great show, y'all. I guess, all eyes being on the Joey Aguilar case, hoping we can get that appeal, even though how you feel about it for this day and age of college football. And then, I'm looking at this basketball team, Oklahoma in the midweek, Saturday in Memorial Gym in Nashville, Tennessee. I will be in attendance there, hopefully getting that spell off our back. But let's hope we get a strong finish here.
Yeah, hey, Vol Scoops fam, appreciate you chiming in, man. What is we were talking about this earlier, and for me, I really want to get us out of that right now, that projected, 6 seed. Looking at those matchups, those are really tough matchups. If you look across the board at all those 6 seeds, what in your viewpoint, what would you think with these 6 remaining games, regular season, what would you need to see us do, and how much work would we need to do down in Nashville at the SEC tournament to to elevate into a 4?
Yeah, I was listening to y'all earlier, man. I think I kind of agree that 5-1 finish, if you can finish strong, a win this weekend in Nashville would be huge, because that Vanderbilt team is better than expected. Yeah. And I think you do got to make a little bit of noise. You don't want to burn yourself out there, but if you can get 2 to 3 wins, and maybe you don't make it to that championship game, but you get that experience. You get, depending on who you knock off. I agree with y'all. It's about who kind of you draw, and if you can get a big win over a Kentucky or a Florida. But I think that this team still has a chance. It's crazy how stacked this field is right now, just from the outside looking in, and obviously a lot can change before we get the final bracket. But these group of 5 teams this year, last year it kind of felt quiet, and I think this year they're going to see that more magic in March.
Yeah, man. Fantastic. Good stuff there. I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm looking forward to it. That's a great call, great follow there on the, we still call it Twitter, but on the X, at Vol Scoops. Great guy right there. We appreciate it, man. We have got to close it down here and get ready for, we'll pass it on to, to the national programming there, but we love it, man. Vol Nation, you got to get it. You got to get this week. I'm with you guys, man. 5-1. We've got to get there. Again, big pickup with the pickup on the coaching staff today, as Vol Scoops just alluded to. Huge get there for, I think, again, familiarity is key whenever you bring a new coordinator in, whether it's defense or offense.
Yeah.
And I believe this thing's I think it's going to pick up a little quicker. It's not going to be wait till year 2. I'm not saying this is going to be, the greatest defense ever in UT Vol history, but I think you're going to see some things really start to go into motion defensively here because you've brought players in with familiarity. You've got coaches, all of that. We got to get out of here. Big thanks, as always, to my man back here, Fan Run Drew. Big shout out to Fan Run Radio and also Fleet Tire over at 111 East Woodland Avenue. Great folks there. Get over there and check them out. That's Fleet Tire. We appreciate you making Neutral Zone a part of your show. And as always, stay tuned in here all week on Fan Run Radio. We'll catch you next week.
She's a head shaker now.